next session of Strength of Materials. In this session, I am going to start with the numericals on Macaulay's method. Find deflections at points B and C for the beam shown in figure below. Assume moment of inertia and modulus of elasticity as I and E respectively. Here the value of I and E is not given, so I'm going to leave the problem in terms of I and E. This is the beam. At A and D, there is a hinge and roller respectively. At point B and C, there are some downward forces. So first I'll start with drawing the FBD, that is changing the hinge and roller to support reactions. At A, there is a reaction VA. At B, there will be a load of 15 kN in the downward direction. At point C, there will be a load of 10 kN in the downward direction. At D, there is a support VD. The distance is 3 meters. Five meter and 3 meter. So this is my simple FBD. I'm not going to use this diagram. I have to draw another diagram where I'm going to show the slider as I have explained in the previous lecture. I'll redraw the beam. These are the various point loads that I have marked. Now I am going to draw the slider on the end portion of the beam CD. You may also draw it on AB, but when you draw on AB, you will have to turn all the forces in the opposite direction. So I am going to draw on CD. This is my slider XX. Assume it is at a distance of X from the end A. This distance is 3 meter. So the distance of B from this section will be X minus 3. This distance is 5 and this is 3. So obviously the distance of C will be X minus 8. So this is the diagram which I am going to use. I will first start with the basic condition of equilibrium, that is summation of force in y direction is equal to 0. Any force going upward will be considered positive. So VA is going upward, minus 15 minus 10 plus VD is equal to 0. Therefore, I have VA plus VD is equal to 25. This is my first equation. The next equation that I am going to use is summation of moment. Say about A is equal to 0. Clockwise moment will be positive. For A, I have 15 turning clockwise. So I have to use the FBD diagram and not this diagram for calculating VA and VD. This diagram will be used for writing the moment equation for Macaulay's method. So this 15 will turn at a distance of 3. So I have therefore 15 into 3 clockwise. I have 10 into 8 clockwise. And I have minus VD into 11 anti-clockwise is equal to 0. When I solve this, I get the value of VD as 11.36 kilonewton. When I substitute VD in this equation 1, I'll get the value of VA as 13.64 kilonewton. So I have got the two values of VA and VD, which I'll be writing here now. So it is 13.64 kilonewton and 11.36 kilonewton. These are the two reaction values that I obtained. Now I have to write the moment equation by looking at this diagram. So first equation that I am going to write is the moment curvature equation, which is moment about the x-axis is EI d square y by dx square. This is the base equation. Now I have to write down the equation for AB, BC and CD portion. Here I am not going to write separately for each of them. I will write together because you have already understood the concept. If you have any doubts, please revisit the lecture. A to B portion has VA turning clockwise. So this will be 13.64 into x. This distance is x. Now I am going to mark the domain at x is equal to 0, that is point A. For point B, the value of x will be 3. At C, the value of x will be 8. And at D, the value of x will be 11. So for A to B, I have 13.64 into x from domain 0 to 3. Next, I have 15 kilonewton in the BC portion. It is turning anti-clockwise towards xx. So I'll write minus 15 into x minus 3. The domain is from 3 to 8. And for the portion C to D, I have again 10 turning anti-clockwise. So I have minus 10 into x minus 8 from 8 to 11, from here to here. Now people will have a doubt why I am not taking 11.36 into consideration. The reason is we are not going to stand on extreme end of D. We will have to stand on the portion C to D in between. But if you look at this value of x is equal to 11, yes, it is very much considered because I have written the limits from 8 to 11. It is just that this force cannot turn even if I hold the slider at this position, and we are not turning VD like this. We are turning every forces towards x. So that is why VD is not coming into picture. Suppose if a person is solving the problem by holding the support here, the slider over here, in that case all the forces will turn towards the slider. This value of VA will not be considered because if the slider is at VA, then it doesn't get considered, and when the slider is ahead of VA, we are not turning this way. We are turning all the forces towards x along the direction that I am showing you. So that's why we don't consider the last force. Now this is going to be my moment equation. So this is my first equation. I'll call this as moment equation. Now after this I have to write down the slope and the deflection equation because that is what I'm supposed to calculate. So I'll write down integrating twice. Here the equation is EI d square y by dx square. So when I integrate this, I'll get EI dy by dx is equal to, the first term is 13.64 x square by 2 from 0 to 3 minus 15 into x minus 3 square by 2 from 3 to 8, and this will be 10 into x minus 8 square by 2 from 8 to 11. This is my equation 2. Now since I have integrated, I have to write the constant of integration. So I'll add C1 at the start. Never add the C1 at the end. Next I will integrate. So I get EI y is equal to, first constant of integration has to be written. So it will be C2. This has to be integrated. So I'll get C1 into x. This term becomes 13.64 x cube upon 6 from 0 to 3. Second term becomes 15 x minus 3 cube upon 6 from 3 to 8, and the third term becomes minus 10 into x minus 8 cube upon 6 from 8 to 11. This is my third equation. The second equation is my slope equation, and the third one is my deflection equation. So here are the three equations that I obtained. Now first I have to calculate the value of C1 and C2. These are the two constants. Once I calculate these two values, then I can just substitute the value of x for various points on the beam and calculate its slope and deflection. Now for calculating C1 and C2, I am supposed to apply boundary conditions. By boundary condition I mean at A you can see there is a hinge. When there is a hinge, obviously this point cannot move along y-axis. So at this point I can write down that at x is equal to 0, my y direction movement is also going to be 0. Similarly for point D, where there is a roller support, this point cannot move up. So here at x is equal to 11 meter, again I have the value of deflection as 0. This is called as boundary condition. Generally the boundary condition will always be applied on the support reactions. So I have got two boundary conditions. So let's apply them. I'll write down applying boundary conditions. So when I apply the first boundary condition, at x is equal to 0, I have y is 0. So I'm going to use this deflection equation for both the boundary condition, and I'm going to calculate the value of C2 and C1. So when I apply this, left hand side will become 0, right hand side x is 0. So all the terms are okay. So left hand side is going to be 0. When I look at the right hand side, look carefully. I am writing x is equal to 0, y equal to 0. If you look at the diagram, x is 0 at point A. So when I talk about point A, I have to only consider the AB portion of the beam. When I talk about this boundary condition, which is the point D, obviously the entire beam is coming into picture. So in that case, I'm going to use the entire equation of deflection. But when I say x is 0, y is 0, I have to use only that much portion of the beam which I have written while writing the equation of A to B, which is up to here. So I'll write down, therefore left hand side is 0 is equal to C2 plus C1 into 0 plus 13.64 into 0, because I am only considering up to this portion of the beam. So if you observe, the value of C2 is equal to 0. In 99% of the problems, you will get the value of C2 as 0, because C2 doesn't have an x term. So you never get the value as a number. You always get it as 0 for these kind of problems. Next, I am going to use a boundary condition. At x is equal to 11 meters, I have y is equal to 0. I'll write here, this is at point A. And here I'll write down at point D, which means I am considering the entire beam. When I say I am considering the entire beam, I have to write down the entire equation. So left hand side is 0. When I start with the right hand side, I'll have 0 is equal to, C2 is already 0. So I'll write down 0 plus C1 into x is 11 plus 13.64 into 11 cube by 6 minus 15 into 11 minus 3 cube by 6, and I have minus 10 into 11 minus 8 cube upon 6. When I solve this, I get the value of C1 as minus 154.61. So this is how I obtain the value of C1 and C2 by substituting the boundary condition. Now the value of C1 can be positive or it can be negative. Now how will I know that my value is correct? If you look at the beam and if you look at the loading condition, at this point A, there is a hinge support. So at this point, there is no deflection. But when you look at the point B, this is causing a downward direction force. So when you have a downward direction force here, obviously your beam will bend something like this. You'll have a sagging kind of effect if you look at this loading condition. When you have a sagging kind of effect, the slope of this line is going to be negative. So when you have a negative slope of the curve, the value of C2 becomes negative. Suppose if at point B you have an upward direction force, then this value of C1 will be positive. So this is just a trick for finding out whether the value is going to be positive or negative. So you can just judge your accuracy of the solution. Now once I have got the value of C1 and C2, I'll substitute in both the slope and the deflection equation. I'll obtain my equation number 4 and 5, and after that I can calculate the deflection at point B and C. So I'll start writing these equations. So I'll have therefore EI dy by dx is equal to minus 154.61 plus 13.64 x square by 2 from 0 to 3 minus 15 x minus 3 square by 2 from 3 to 8, and I'll have minus 10 into x minus 8 square by 2 from 8 to 11. This is my equation number 4, and I'll have EIY is equal to minus 154.61 x plus 13.64 x cube upon 6 from 0 to 3 minus 15 into x minus 3 cube upon 6 from 3 to 8, and minus 10 into x minus 8 cube upon 6 from 8 to 11. This is my equation number 5. Now the problem says find the deflections at points B and C for the beam. So when I have to calculate the deflection at point B and C, you can see the value of x at point B is 3 and for the point C the value of x is 8. So when I have to calculate deflection and slope, I'll first start with a point B. So at point B, the value of x is 3 meter. When I substitute this 3 meter in this equation and in this equation, I can easily calculate the value of slope, which is dy by dx at B and y at B. So let's start with equation 4. So I'll have therefore EI dy by dx at B is equal to minus 154.61 plus 13.64. Now, till where you are supposed to write the equation is also important. When I talk about point B, obviously I'll have to stop here. If I go just one term ahead, you can see when I substitute x is 3, this term becomes 0. And when I go here, it is negative. So I don't have to walk any further. For point B, I'll write the equation only till this portion and till this portion. So this will be 13.64 into 3 square by 2. I get the value of dy by dx for B as minus 93.23 upon EI, because this EI gets divided here, and the unit of this term, since it is slope, it will be radian. It cannot be degree because there are no other term in the equation which has a unit degree in it. So I'll have to write radian over here. Next, I'll substitute x is 3 in this equation. So I get therefore EI y of B is equal to minus 154.61 into 3 plus 13.64 into 3 cube upon 6. Now I can't go any further. So if I solve this, I'll get YB as minus 402.45 upon EI. Obviously, deflection has to be in meter. So this is my answer for slope and deflection at point B. So this is my slope and this is my deflection. Obviously at point B, I have written that. So next I'll go for solving for the point C. Now again I'm going to write down at point C, x is equal to 8 meter. When I say x is equal to 8 meter, you can see the highest domain has to be 8. So now I'll stop only till this portion and over here till this portion. So I'll write down therefore EI dy by dx for the point C is equal to minus 154.61 plus 13.64 into 8 square by 2 minus 15 into 8 minus 3 square by 2. When I solve this, I'll get the value of dy by dx for the point C as 94.37 upon EI. The units will be radians obviously. So this is the answer. And when I'll substitute in this equation, I get therefore EI y of C is equal to minus 154.61 into 8 plus 13.64 into 8 cube upon 6, and I have minus 15 into 8 minus 3 cube upon 6. I get the value of YC as minus 385.43 upon EI meter. Obviously this is my slope and this is my deflection at point C. So this is how the calculation is supposed to be done. Now I just want you to learn to interpret something. When you look at the value of slope and deflection for the point B, you can see the value of slope is negative, and I have shown you that the beam will bend in this fashion. If the beam bends like this, I am obviously showing a larger than life diagram. So when the beam bends like this, at the point B, obviously there is going to be a negative slope. and there will be a deflection in the downward direction. Hence, the value is negative and this value is also negative. When I talk about point C, you can see there is an increasing slope over here. So, the value of slope for C should be positive and the value of deflection will obviously be negative because it is in the downward direction. You can check over here, slope is positive, deflection is negative. So, this is how I can interpret that the answers that I have obtained are correct, at least in terms of the sign, not in terms of magnitude, but at least in terms of direction. So this is how the numerical is supposed to be solved. I hope you have understood the numerical. If you have any doubts or you want me to solve any numerical, please write to me in the comment section. See you in the next session. Thank you.